Another, they all come to the Ron Sedgy Show, so why don't you?
And now, live from New York City via Los Angeles, California, it's time for The View from Over Here with the man who has a view for all seasons, your host, Stan Weisleder.
Take it away, Stanley.
Okay, I'm taking it away. This is Stan Weisleder on CRNTalk.com. How are you people out there today? I'm here in the studio with Malcolm Barry Burman, who I sometimes call Balcom for short.
Thanks.
And our special guest with us today, Fred Dreyer, but we'll keep him holding off a bit. We'll keep him on ice until we do the news, and we have our reviews by Jonas. We have Jonas with us today, correct? Good, okay. News today. Well, there isn't a hell of a lot of news out there, so just let me say this. Everybody's heard about this stuff that's going on in Paris, France, terrorists going amok. So there's not much to report except that I see a backlash, a potential backlash.
A potential.
Well, maybe it's more than potential. Building up following this terrorist attack in Paris. People are now finally starting to get together. They say it's solidarity, but I think maybe they're finally going to get after these terrorists and stop being nice. Okay,
but I want to know, how much is a life worth? I mean, this whole thing is going on. You had 17 people that were killed, which is tragic. And
well, to me, I don't know what a religion is if your head of the religion or your God supposedly says, kill everybody else who doesn't go along with us. What kind of religion is that?
Well, they have in Nigeria, I think they're talking about the Boko Haram, I believe it's the Islamic group.
They're going nuts again.
They killed thousands of people in the space of a month. And it doesn't get that. It gets one page in the press. And you get where the bombs in Iraq, Iran, are killing hundreds of people. In Mexico, they're constantly digging up graves with dead bodies.
Yeah, and we put this out to our listeners today. If they have anything to say about it, email us. We probably won't get back to any of them today. They'll be sitting in our email box, but we can answer them by next week or whatever. But it's getting crazy. It's insane.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going to happen because now. And is there a way of cutting off the internet that it's free flowing for all the
supposedly
the terrorists
there is? Hey, if they could do it in Korea, why can't they do it in Syria?
Yeah, I don't know why they can't. You have any suggestions, Fred, of what's happening?
You want me to come in now?
You can come in anytime you want. It's a free form.
It's a free country.
Well, whatever your format here, I'll fold right in with it. What do I think? I think it's wonderful to see 4 million people in the street in France, linked arm in arm. What does it mean, though? What are they going to do about it?
That's a question.
Did they march down to the 7 no-go zones and demand that all these people leave the country? Because the problem isn't a handful of people like they want you to think. It's you've got what is it? They figure it's 10 to 15% of the total population of 1.5 million. Well, that puts you right around 400 million people.
Right. I think it was 10% or something. But a lot of the people, the terrorists, were also native born.
Yeah,
it's not that they're immigrants.
Yeah,
it's their parents were immigrants and they're native born Frenchmen.
Yeah, that's fine. But they have places for people like that are they're aiding and abetting. If you can't tell the police and the fire department, we don't want you to come in here.
Oh yeah, the no-go zones.
What's going on,
Malcolm? We're breaking protocol. We have Fred on, and we didn't properly introduce him.
See, that's what happened. You brought me into this thing.
Let me introduce him now, okay? And then we can have Jonas.
Okay.
Make sense? Okay, Fred Dreyer. This is his first interview on The View from Over Here. And I have to say that this guy needs no introduction. If you didn't watch him play football back in the day when he was with the New York Giants and the LA Rams, you certainly must have seen him on TV because he's been on, well, I remember one of my favorite shows, Hunter. It was on for a number of years. He did some specials on it and then came back again for another year. And he's done things other than Hunter. Hunter is not his only game. And if you look up his IMDb record, it's really spectacular. He has a lot of credits. And today, hopefully, we'll find out, did he like playing football more than he does acting, writing, or producing? So, Fred, we'll have him back after Jonas. But anyway, if you hear another voice other than me or Malcolm, it's our guest, Fred Dreyer.
Yeah. Also, Fred might be interested to know that Stan was a deputy, a sheriff. Was it a volunteer, or you worked for the deputy sheriff?
Yeah, but that's
LA.
What do you mean volunteer? You carry a gun and a badge. That doesn't make you a volunteer. But that's a whole other issue. We're not going to talk about that.
It makes you a terrorist.
Makes me a potential terrorist.
Yeah. But anyway,
by the way, you talk about terrorists. I keep getting updates on classes. I can go to classes whenever I want about anti-terrorist this, anti-terrorist that. In fact, I took one class on learning how to make a bomb. Not that I'm going to, but I can go to all of these things sometimes. But I don't have the time anymore. But if I do, they're really fascinating, some of the stuff that you could learn out there. And if I could learn it, so can the terrorists learn it.
Well, some of the things that the most brilliant minds in Hollywood are devising schemes how to bomb certain buildings. If you listen to the TV shows.
Oh, listen, it's so
movies.
easy. It is so easy.
So terrorists, all they have to do is they don't have to come up with any original idea. They look in Hollywood's productions and they find out, they get ideas of what to do.
Not only that, I can tell you how to get a gun on a plane. It's such a simple thing, but I'm not going to tell you. If I tell you, then I have to kill you. Okay, you heard that before.
Anyway, let's get to Jonas.
Yes. Jonas, are you with us now?
I am with you.
All right. Okay, Jonas, the floor is yours.
Well, hello, guys, and hello, Fred. I have to say that one of my favorite shows was Cheers, and I loved when you were on Cheers, Fred.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun there.
I'm sure you did. So anyway, we're going to talk about a few plays and a few movies. Also, a little bit of travel. I just got back from 2 weeks abroad. I went to Vegas, and I'm bringing it up only because a lot of us rely on Priceline for booking our travel, and they have the express deal where you pick what your what star system you choose and the exact location of where the hotel is, and you choose your price and you go with it. Well, that's great if Priceline can be relied on for their star system. They put me at the Link Hotel, which is the old Imperial Palace that they supposedly put $250 million into, and once they're done with the place, it won't be a 4-star hotel. Now that they're halfway through it, it's definitely not a 4-star hotel. So, and of course you call Priceline and they're like, oh, we have a real reliable system. I'm like, well, thank you. So you might want to think twice before you use Express System because you are relying on what Priceline does to get their point system, and sometimes I don't trust it. So anyway, going back to theater, I saw some great stuff in the last week. Saw some interesting stuff, I should say. First of all, at the Red, White, and Blues, a jazz club in Pasadena, they're showing Clown Bar, which was a hit off Broadway and has now come here. It is a cabaret. Best way to describe it is a cabaret run by underground criminal clowns that is interrupted halfway through by a gumshoe detective trying to solve a crime. And the audience is kind of in the middle of everything going on. It's rather clever. Some of it doesn't work. What really works is the music. It's original songs, cabaret songs, written by several people, including the author of the play, Adam Simkowicz. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing that name all wrong. But the songs are very clever. They're pointed, satirical, very smartly written, have nice melodies. And for that alone, it's worth seeing. Some of when it goes into the detective spoof goes on a bit too long and isn't as funny as it wants to be. But for the music itself, it's worth going. It's at the Red, White, and Blues in Pasadena, next to the Pasadena Playhouse. They run, I believe, 3 more performances. It's every Thursday night in January. So I believe you have 3 more left. You can get tickets on the website for Red, White, and Blues, which I believe I sent to Pam yesterday. So you can get that address off of our website. And that is Clown Bar. I also saw Jack Lemmon Returns at the Broad Stage in Santa Monica. Obviously, everyone knows 2-time Oscar winner Jack Lemmon, one of the greatest actors we've ever had. His son, Chris Lemmon, is doing a one-man show on his father. And, if anyone has seen his son, for years he was on Fox TV in the early days of Fox on a show called Duets. He's a nice actor, not to his father's level, but obviously, but a very charming actor, and does a wonderful job of impersonating his father. It's amazing how much he captures his voice, his persona, his cadence. It's fantastic. The other thing that Chris Lemmon has that's really special is he has this way of staring at each member of the audience, so you feel like he is sharing this intimate story with you, and it's a small stage, so that really is rather special. He also learned how to play piano from his father, and obviously learned very well. He plays quite a few songs that are favorites of his father, and it's a nice evening. It's at the Broad Stage. There still are quite a few performances left. It looks like pretty much every day, with matinee and evenings on Saturdays, until the beginning of February. So again, we have that on our website if you want to have a chance to see that. Also, for any gore horror movie fans, out on DVD now is Dead Snow 2, Red vs. Dead. I'm bringing this up now because it's a fabulous movie. If you can take your gore, and there's quite a bit of it, this is the sequel to Dead Snow, where, spoofing the Evil Dead movies, a group of young adults wind up at a Norwegian snow resort and are brutally murdered by zombie Nazis. And it's as ridiculous as it sounds. Well,
that sounds like a lovable movie.
It is actually quite fun. The sequel is much more epic. The same director, Tommy Wirkola, directed this film too, and it's quite fun. The deaths are crazy. They are as politically incorrect as possible, but it's got a real smart... It's got a very smart idea of what it wants to show, and it managed to execute it very well. It's a mixture of Norwegian and American cast members. Martin Starr, who people will know from the Judd Apatow movies. He was also in the original cast of Freaks and Geeks. He is one of the stars of the movie, and I laughed half the way through it. I closed my eyes quite a bit, and I laughed quite a bit. So if you want to get on DVD something that will gross the heck out of you, but will keep you laughing, Dead Snow 2, Red vs. Dead.
It sounds like Abbott Costello meet Frankenstein.
It's even meets Pulp Fiction. It's quite gruesome.
How many stars would you give that?
Oh, I've never been a fan of stars because everyone's got their own. When they visually see something, I think everyone thinks something different. Stars kind of limits things.
Have you seen that? By the way, that documentary on not Roger Ebert. Roger Ebert.
Yes, I saw it last week on CNN. Excellent. For me, Roger Ebert was like an uncle that I never got to meet. I mean, I grew up with him. I watched sneak previews on Channel 8 in Baltimore when I was a kid, when I was 7. So, I grew up with him. I watched it every single week until after Gene Siskel died. I thought that once they brought in new people, it never recovered. Yeah,
I agree. What do you have going for next week?
Oh, what do I have for next week? That's a good question. I have Billy Elliot at La Mirada Playhouse.
That's based on the movie?
That is based on the movie. It is the musical with music by, Billy Joel, by Elton John. And it's playing La Mirada, which is always an award-winning playhouse.
Is it true that Billy Joel and Elton John are the same person?
That is not true. It's directed by my old camp friend, Brian Kite, who I've known for years and is a very talented director.
Hold on. Wasn't Billy Elliot a show, then it became a movie? Now
no, the opposite.
The opposite, okay.
It was a movie and then it was a show. So we've got that next week. And that's it for me.
Okay, anyway, you hear the music. Thanks very much, Jonas.
All right, guys.
And you're listening to The View from Over Here on crntalk.com, and you can get us on www.viewfromoverhere.com, and we'll be right back with our special guest, Fred Dreyer.
A Killer of Lions by Stan Weisleder. There were 4 squadrons of black fighter pilots during World War II that had to fight 2 air forces in order to gain recognition, the Luftwaffe and the U.S. Army Air Corps. The HBO special and the recent attempt at a full-length feature film do not come close to the full and true story of these brave men. They were not ball players, they were not rap singers, they were fighter pilots and American heroes in the truest sense. A Killer of Lions by Stan Weisleder.
Have you ever considered adding a home security system but thought it would be too expensive? Here's the good news. There's never been a more affordable time to help protect your home, valuables, and your loved ones. You can now get a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, with the installation of a new ADT monitored system. Here's even better news. Your new system, worth $850, is free. You pay just a $99 installation charge and purchase monthly monitoring for less than $2 a day. Call Protect Your Home today at 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. Get the peace of mind that comes with owning an ADT monitored system, plus a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home. Call now, 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. 36-month monitoring contract required. General terms and conditions apply. Visit protectyourhome.com/terms.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
Someday there'll be a cure. Someday we won't lose the people we love. But when is someday? Someday is today. Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, hundreds of thousands diagnosed with blood cancer are today living a normal life. We're making cures happen. Join us. Call 888-HELP-LLS. Go to LLS.org. Help us reach today sooner.
So take it over.
Take it over. Okay. I thought we were talking, and I didn't know that we're shut off. I don't want to do an Uncle Don, if anything else.
Right, because I'm not here. The show goes on anyway, with or without me.
All right, goes on. Okay. Our special guest today, Fred Dreyer, is going to talk about whatever he wants to talk about. But I have one question for him specifically. Fred, you were a professional football player, and I know years ago, and every once in a while, the newspapers come out with the top jobs in the country. They list the top 50 professions. And I have to tell you, professional football player was usually down at the bottom of the list. Care to comment on that?
Well, it should be. I mean, I don't know anybody in their right mind would want to do that. You know.
Why do you say that? Aside from the injuries, of course, everybody knows that.
Well, it takes a heck of a long time to be able to do it correctly, And it just isn't a job description. It's a lifestyle, you know.
But you know what I noticed? Football players have the highest level of education than other sports personalities. They're the only ones that have to play their sport in high school and college before they become a professional. But you could have other sports like basketball or baseball where they go straight out of high school. So we know that professional football players are better educated and smarter, we think, than all of the other sports personalities.
Is that a question?
It's a comment. Do you care to add to it?
Yeah, I will say this, that just because you put somebody in a college setting doesn't mean they're going to learn anything.
Right. I don't know if you watch Brian Gumbel, the Real Sports on HBO.
No, I don't.
But there was an expose about, I think it was North Carolina, about how they some of the athletes were taking courses that they didn't have to show up for.
Oh, it's classic. Look, you can go all day long about every university having a mock classroom for these guys just to get them eligible. I mean, look, you just want to, people go into school, if it wasn't for sports or it wasn't for football specifically, what would a lot of these guys do? I mean, take football away, they're not going to go to school to get an education because they don't want to, and they're only going to school to play football. Most of them, half of them maybe.
Well, would you say then college football is more or less like a farm club for the pros?
Well, it can be. I mean, I knew a lot of guys who graduated from major Harvard, who played against a lot of guys who went to onward into college and had a considerable college experience, and they weren't that smart.
Yeah, those were the Ivy schools also, the Harvard, the Yale, and Columbia type of schools?
Of course.
Because you hear about, of course, the football factory, so to speak. The Oklahomas or the Texases or
that's right.
Ohio State.
Yeah, and that's okay. I look at those opportunities for kids is that if it wasn't for football, they wouldn't even be in school. I figure that if you can get these kids off the street and get them into school, or get anybody into school, and if the reason is to play sports, that's great. And if they want to leave after 1 or 2 years, then they can do that too. But for the most part, I think people get out of school what you put into it, what they want to put into it. You can literally go to a community college and do all your undergraduate work there and get that out of the way in 4 semesters or whatever it is, and then go on to the school of your choice and with your interests and your sports commitments. I run into guys all the time when I was in school that were in junior college, I came out of El Camino Junior College before I went to San Diego State. So I had a lot of the stuff taken care of by the time I went down there. And I wound up dropping out of school with 10 units left to graduate. And I never went back because I got pulled out into the world, and I thought that was more entertaining and more interesting to me than going back to school.
Okay, hold that thought. We're coming up to a break. You're listening to The View from over here. I keep on trying to say CRNTalk.com, but that's where you're hearing it on. Stay tuned, and we'll be back in a few minutes with more from Fred Dreyer.
The next time you're in Southern California, visit the Riviera Restaurant in Calabasas. Riviera, as the name implies, is the ultimate in Calabasas restaurants. There's not even a close second. And what's better suited for the Beverly Hills of the Valley than a Beverly Hills type of restaurant and watering hole without those ridiculous Beverly Hills prices? They're so good. With impeccable service, they probably don't even need this commercial. Even now, it's hard to get a good table except for off hours. But if you really want to treat yourself or your date, call 818-224-2163. That's 818-224-2163. That's the Riviera Restaurant in Calabasas, California.
Inventory isn't about products, kid. It's about money. Products sitting on shelves is money sitting on shelves. I hate overstock. I hate understock. I hate wasting time. I hate wasting money. That's why I love Grainger. Grainger KeepStock Solutions help us manage our facility's inventory, so we have exactly what we need when we need it. No more, no less. It's inventory management my way. Get it? Got it? Good. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock for more information. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a non-profit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or owe the IRS or state more than $10,000? If you don't take action now, your tax problem is going to get worse. Much worse. Seizure of property, bank levies, wage garnishments, and potential criminal prosecution. And if you owe the IRS back payroll taxes, chances are you will be visited at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected, stop collections, and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the Shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-211-8753. That's 800-211-8753. 800-211-8753.
Homeowners, now is the season to be thinking about your roof, because all it takes is one storm to turn a small roof problem into a major leak. If it's time for a new roof, call Sears at 888-465-9720. You can save $500 if you call right now. Sears licensed, fully insured contractors can get your roofing job done right. Just call 888-465-9720. Sears has a variety of shingles and styles that are built for long-lasting performance, and you'll save $500 if you call now. So call Sears for a free home consultation at 888-465-9720. Hurry, offer ends soon. Not available in all areas. Installation provided by Sears authorized licensed contractors. License information available upon request. That's Sears Roofing. Call right now and save $500. Call 888-465-9720. 888-465-9720. Call Sears now and get that roof repaired. Call 888-465-9720.
Take it away. This is Stan Weisleder back on CRNTalk.com with Malcolm Burman and our special guest today, Fred Dreyer, who happens to be on the same radio network as we are. Fred, I have a question for you that's been bugging me since Malcolm was able to book you on the show. Which did you like better? Because you've had two fairly successful careers. Did you like being a professional football player more or better or whichever than being in the entertainment business as a writer, actor, director, and everything else?
Well, I played both, and I did both at the right time in my life. I spent my youth playing football, which I should have done. And then when I got out, when I was 35, 36 years of age, I got into the entertainment business. Mm-hmm. So I felt as though that was a good place for me at that time.
Did you? I don't know. Did you wreck your body like you hear a lot of the athletes that they can't wake up and this hurts, that hurts when they, especially football players?
Well, look, there isn't anybody when you watch these games. There isn't anybody on the field or in uniform that doesn't have something wrong with them, and so. So when you're finished playing, it's the cumulative effect of all of your experiences and all your playing, and so I'm blessed because I kept my weight down. I changed my diet. I handled getting older with these injuries through diet.
Interesting.
I know what works, and not only just for me, but I know a little bit about the human body, and so I applied a lot of common sense and reason when I realized that I'm going to probably have to deal with my injuries, my shoulders and my knees and my neck, those things that bother me on a daily basis. I'm going to have to deal with them. So how best do I do that? And that was through a proper balance of acid-alkaline body chemistry.
So I mean, you hear all these stories about the football players who, injure themselves. The doctor shoots them up with some sort of cortisone, and then they go out in the field with their injury. Was this prevalent in your days?
So they still do it. But those are the old days. And when you start to look at how careful they are with players now, because there's so much money, and these guys are, you're not talking about a $200,000 defensive end. You're talking about $20 million quarterback or somebody like that they want make sure that they don't do anything stupid that would prevent them from playing in the future.
Fred, which career did you like better?
As I said, I did both.
You developed,
I did both at the right time, and I liked both of them because it wasn't either or. It was something that was organic to my youth, that I would play sports and get paid for it as I would move on, and then when I finished, I would get paid for it and have fun as an older person, being an actor and producer.
Were the guys as big as they are now? Because I was watching the game yesterday, as probably you were, with they had the quarterback for Ohio State, Cordell Jones.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He is 6'5", 250 pounds. I saw him do a quarterback sneak, and he banged into a 310-pound lineman and knocked him over. Were the players as big? I think there was one back, and I forget his name. It was like 250 pounds.
Well, I listen. When I played, there was 300-pound linemen, 300-pound, 320-pound linemen.
But they weren't as fast, it seems.
Well, the one thing is that the sport is faster at every position nowadays, and there's more athleticism at every position. Mm. But the field's the same. But if you're at a handicapped these college players, you have to understand that these guys are playing on a team that might have one or two players, three players that could possibly play professionally in college. So when they get into professional football, they're playing against people. All of them can play professional football.
Well, all of them are good.
So you've got 22 people on the field that work and function at a high degree. In college, you have maybe two or three players that might function.
When you started playing college and you went to San Diego State, were you envisioning becoming a pro, or would this develop?
Well, I knew I'd have an opportunity. When I was at El Camino College in 65 and 66, I knew that I would probably get a shot at playing professionally. By that time, I was 18, 19. I had a pretty good idea of what I was going to get an opportunity to do. I do remember certain plateaus of playing in junior college. My second year at El Camino College, I was markedly better than I was my sophomore year. And so then when I got to San Diego State, the same thing happened. I had kind of like a flat year my junior year, and then my senior year I just took off.
Were you always defensive end, or did you?
Yeah, I was always a right defensive end. Uh-huh.
Yeah, because you're 6'6" and 240. You said you were.
At that time, I was a little heavier than I am. I'm about 215, 218 now. But yeah, I was interesting that I was 5'10" in high school and graduated at 6'5".
Wow!
So I had a huge growth spurt there for a while. But it was all within balance. I was blessed. I was never gangly. I always seemed to be physically adept along with my growth spurt.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have flat spots where I wasn't able to handle myself.
Fred, I have one for you. Your background indicates you did maybe about 160 episodes of Hunter, some number like that. Did you have to go, or did you go to the academy to get any instruction? Did they prep you in any way? Did you do ride-alongs? What did you do to get into mode, get into action, to get into the mindset to play that part?
Well, we like most of the actors that today that play police officers. You do a lot of research, and you do ride-alongs, which I did. I had uncles and cousins who were policemen in our family, so I was always interested in it, and so I did a lot of ride-alongs. I did a lot of research. We had technical advisors on our show that were very conscientious. Sometimes these technical advisors, they don't want to be a pain in the ass. They want to get along and they want to help you, and so they might not tell you something that you shouldn't do. But I wanted to know everything about every situation, So for me, it's understanding the part, and then there's my interpretation of how I want to play it. But my interpretation of how to play it can't destroy the integrity of the role.
Right, I understand.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just say, I'll do anything I want to do. I can't wear a headband. When the uniform is, you got to wear a uniform. You can't wear a headband, or you can't, you can't look like Chuck Norris, in an army outfit.
Yeah. Do you still keep in contact with law enforcement?
Not as much as I did. A lot of them have moved on, in life. But I knew Dominic Rivetti. He was the chief of San Fernando Police Department. I was a reserve for 7 years with them.
Did you ever come into where someone stopped you for illegal something, doing traffic violation, and then they show them the license and say, "Oh yeah, Hunter."
Yeah, that's right. I had police officers who were big fans, and they would say, "Hey, keep your foot off the accelerator." And
you said you were 7 years as a reserve, so you went through an academy.
Yeah, I went to post. We went through all those things.
So you guys are brother in arms.
Yeah. So as long as
descended.
Some people, there was what we used to call FOS, Friends of the Sheriff. Okay, but they don't do it now. But back in the days of Sherman Block, they did that, and everybody knows about it. And if you were a big name, or even not a big name actor, you want to get a badge and a gun, he would appoint you as a reserve officer without your having to have gone through the academy. Okay, so a guy like that could shoot himself in the foot.
I would have never taken that gift.
Yeah,
I really appreciated them telling me, "Hey, look, we'd like to have you associated with the San Fernando Police Department, but here's what you got to do." I said, "I'm all for it." And so we did it, and I was much better off doing it. I liked what I learned from it, and I had a great deal of respect for what they go through. And
I have a question for you. You went over the 6-foot wall, right? As part of the training.
Yeah.
Easy for you, right?
It was very easy for me.
For me, it was the hardest thing.
Well, you can go around. You can go around.
I know. You got to go over, not around.
Well, if you're out in the field, you're going
in the field. You do a lot of things.
If you and I were partners, I'd throw you over the wall.
Thank you.
Well, maybe not now. How much do you weigh?
Well, I'm losing weight. I'm down to 170. Actually, my academy weight when it went in, I was 152 or 153. I'm aiming for that now. I'm at 170 now. I'm still working on it.
It's a good guy.
You look good. You look trim, and you look ready to go.
Hey, for my age, what can I can't complain.
How old are you?
I was 81 in October.
God bless you. How about you, Malcolm?
I'll be 72.
You're 72. Right.
And you? You're a kid.
I'll be 69 in July.
Yeah. Oh, he's a youngster.
He's a kid.
Yeah. So respect your elders.
I always do. I do. I believe in that.
So what's coming up in the calendar for you?
Well, look, this business, the entertainment business, is very mercurial.
But what do you have coming up?
Well, one day, I'll tell you. one day you have a job, next day you don't. Well, one day you don't have a job, next thing you do. I've always got projects that I'm submitting. The trick today is submitting them to the right people at the right time.
Timing.
So it really is all timing. But you have to collect yourself and present yourself as a package. The writers that you're associating with, you just can't. You have to be able to go to a network or go to a distribution entity, and there's many today. Thank God for the internet. But there's many today where you go and just say, I've got a great script, a great idea, a great genre. Let's say it's horror, action horror film of some sort. And you have the right writer and you have people attached to it. And when you walk in the door, you give the impression to them that you have thought through everything that they're going to ask you. And so the more you can come to them with the answers, at least an opinion, at least they can say, okay, we like the script, we like the director, we like the actors. Maybe could you go this way, that way with an actor and actress? Yes, we can. Can you? How can you work with them? And the closer you are to helping them say yes, the better off you are. And until someone says yes, it's all a conversation. Until someone writes you a check to say, hey, Fred, do you like what you're doing? Here's a check.
Well, I find it's not only writing the check, it's getting the check cashed.
Well, of course.
Well, I think if they give you the check, it'll be good.
Yeah, I've yet to have anybody bounce a check with me. So
I've had that experience in sales.
Well,
sales is different.
I'm talking about the entertainment business.
No, like $1 million check.
Yeah, but look, in Fred's business, if somebody did that, their credibility would be shot to hell.
Mm.
Well, you just get a cashier's check. Did you get a cashier's check?
But there's so many, as you say, there's so many distribution points now. Years ago, back in the 70s, I used to do documentary films. And the only way you could get the documentary films exposed is, you couldn't, because you had to show them in small theaters, because there was no film distribution. And the networks controlled all the documentaries. So if you went to the major networks, they had their own documentary programs.
Well, they control everything.
Yeah. So. But today, with the Netflix, with the Amazon, I don't know if you were watching the Golden Globes on Monday.
As little as possible.
Well, I was watching, but some of them, some of the shows are on Netflix.
Yeah.
Some of them were on Amazon, shows I've never heard of.
Right.
And people are getting,
But see, that information isn't geared to you. The people today that they're aiming at are people who are 27 and younger. Anybody over a certain age degree, they don't worry about talking to you. They figure that you'll just catch on and fall in
or die.
But once you're able, to figure out how all of this is going to work out, shake down, everybody seems to find that it took me a long time to even figure out where is the youth market going today? Who's watching what? What's a hit show? I'd never heard of that person. How come I don't know that person? And what's going on in music today? Why don't I know anything about what's going on? There's no record companies and there's no top 40 anymore. Casey
Fred,
Kasem's
I have
dead.
a question for you, Fred. And this has been bugging me. In your business, the entertainment business, and when you have these award shows, whether they be Golden Globe, Academy Award, or whatever, aside from the actual distribution of awards, it seems to me like it's almost a mutual admiration society. Any comments before the music shuts us off?
Well, it's their business. You're there and to contribute, and once you stop contributing, you're not there anymore.
Well, the problem is, I think there's been an overexposure of the award shows and the movie stars, but we'll get into that when we get back. We're coming up to a break. You're listening to
we have 30 seconds.
The View from Over Here, heard on crntalk.com, and you can get us on www.viewfromoverhere.com, and we'll be right back to end our interview with Fred Dreyer.
Trees, an epic novel by Stan Weisleder, told in the Godfather fashion, with 2/3 of the book taking place in Las Vegas and describing the transition from the mob to Howard Hughes to corporate America. This book is Las Vegas. Jim Santangelo from the International Brotherhood of Teamsters said, I didn't grow up in New York or Las Vegas. I grew up in Jersey City, but I know everyone in this book. I loved it. Hal Rothbart, publisher, says, I wish I had written it. The Trees by Stan Weisleder.
Experience a luxury boutique hotel escape in the heart of Laguna Beach, California. With the finest art gallery, shopping, dining, and nightlife just steps from your door. The heart of Laguna Beach, the edge of the sea. It's the Inn at Laguna Beach. Enjoy our comfortable rooms, blending the style of a timeless beach bungalow with the modern comforts of today. 70 newly appointed guest rooms and suites await you at the Inn at Laguna Beach. Then, relax at the rooftop bar, where you'll indulge in breathtaking views of the ocean. For dining, you'll find libations and local cuisine on the California coastline, including dining at the legendary Las Brisas, a Southern California landmark. The Inn at Laguna Beach, footsteps from room to village to sea, located in the heart of Laguna Beach. The Inn is within walking distance of all that Laguna Beach has to offer. No car required. The Inn at Laguna Beach, 211 North Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, California. Call 800-544-4479 or visit innatlagunabeach.com.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names.
Really? Yeah.
They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-471-5173, 800-471-5173.
Every day is Save the Earth Day, and each of us has a part to play. For more information and how you can do your part to save the Earth, contact us at SaveTheWorld.net. That's SaveTheWorld.net.
You're on.
I'm on. Okay, this is Stan Weisleder, and we're back in the studio in downtown glamorous Sunland with Malcolm Burman and Fred Dreyer.
Okay, Fred, we're going to have to wrap up. We're going to have a few minutes.
Good.
No, we should have another hour or two with you. Cause
well, it went by fast.
Yeah.
All right, Fred, what's on your mind regarding that last question? Do you want to...
What was the question?
What was the question?
Do you remember?
Me? I have Alzheimer's. How the hell would I remember?
Time's ticking away. What's the question?
The question is, when is your show on CRN?
Well, we're on the weekends. We do weekend sports recap, Mike Horn and myself. And it's the PM show with Fred Dreyer and Mike Horn. And we do it live on Wednesday from 4 to 5 here at CRN Talk. And then they replay it on the weekends. So we're in the process of expanding our show. We talk about everything in sports. We do different things. You know, we're not the rip and read type of things. We're not going to discuss the breakdown of footwork of the cornerbacks for Oregon. You know, we're going to talk about a lot of different types of things.
Fred, do you have any deals in the making? Any new shows on the horizon? Anything? A reprise of Hunter? Anything?
No. Hunter's gone, and as it should be. We put that away, and it was great while it lasted. It's over. It's a different generation, and there's other things that I've got going on now, but nothing to speak of. As I say, once we get that down the road and something is viable, we'll let people know about it.
Yeah, well, you're welcome to come back here and let us know anytime you have.
Oh, great, thanks. I appreciate you guys having me.
Any bulletins?
No bulletins. Football is over. It'll be over on the 1st of February, thank God. We'll get on to baseball.
Now we're going to have over here. We're going to in LA. We're going to find out whether we'll get the LA Rams back or not, or the St. Louis Rams.
Well, it's going to be interesting because there could be a litigation there. I don't know why and how that would take place, how realistic it would be to try to sue someone to keep from moving when he can buy the property, and he's got the building and the property, and Al Davis did it, and he won a lawsuit unanimously. Overwhelmingly, they allowed him. You can't keep people from moving your franchise to make it better. He doesn't have a proper lease in St. Louis.
No, the lease is up, I think.
Well, it's not only that, but it's not adequate.
Aside from sports, tell me, Fred, do you still go down to the range and practice to keep your skills up?
Shooting?
Yeah.
I haven't been at the range in 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to get rusty.
I'm never rusty, man. I'm a great shot, buddy.
Do you keep a sidearm, or do you have?
I have many sidearms.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
Well, I have a Smith & Wesson 9mm. I've got the 40 caliber and the 10 millimeter.
Yeah, I don't understand this. To drive the car, you have to have a license, and you have to show that you know how to drive, and it's renewable. I don't know why the hell you don't have to show that you know how to operate the gun to have a gun permit.
Well, that's a sad thing. I'm for gun, distribution. I'm for guns, but there should also be laws that the person has to go through a course so they don't kill themselves or kill somebody else.
Anyway, Fred, I'm sorry, I got the 60-second notice.
There it is, you got 60 seconds.
So, thank you very much for being on our show.
Well, it's a pleasure to see you guys and to be a part of your show, and I sure appreciate it. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah. My question was, when do you stop saying Happy New Year
February
to people?
1st.
February 1st?
That's the official day?
That's right.
You've heard that here on The View from Over Here.
That makes it official.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back. Well, you'll hear rebroadcast Saturday at 2 and Sunday at 5p.
At 5, and then we'll be back next Tuesday.
Have a great week, and we'll see you then. We won't see. Well, you can see us. We can't see you. Anyway, bye, guys.
They can listen.
The View from Over Here is a co-production of Infinity X and TBG International. For further information, contact Malcolm Burman at 818-687-2784. That's 818-687-2784.
Which was most appropriate because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle